Okay, for this week's MobyMax, we're going to do our solar system. Our solar system. What is a solar system? Moons and small objects in our solar system. A solar system is a group of planets and other objects that orbit a central star. Planet Earth belongs to a solar system. Each is one of many planets that orbit the sun, which is the central star of our solar system. More than just planets orbit the sun in our solar system. Other objects such as asteroids and dwarf planets orbit the sun as well. The solar system also includes the moons that orbit planets and the comets that flash through the sky. A solar system is a group of planets and other objects, group of different stars, group of comets and asteroids that orbit a central star. The sun is the central star in our solar system. Misha is using a telescope to look at the night sky. She observes a star with several planets orbiting it. Is Misha observing a solar system? Misha is probably observing a solar system because solar systems are made up of a central star and the planets and other objects that orbit it. Misha is probably not observing a solar system because the solar system does not include planets. Misha is probably observing a solar system because the solar systems are made up of planets that travel around a central moon. Misha is probably not observing a solar system because there are no moons orbiting a star. True or false? All solar systems must have more than 10 planets that orbit a central star. No, that's false. Click the buttons to learn more about the planets of our solar system. The Sun, the 8 planets of our solar system are Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. All of these planets orbit the Sun. Pluto used to be considered a planet in our solar system. In 2006, scientists reclassified Pluto as a dwarf planet. Dwarf planets are much smaller than planets, but they still orbit the Sun. One important difference between planets and dwarf planets is that planets have their own orbital path, but dwarf planets do not. This means that other objects can be found along the orbit of dwarf planets. Dwarf planets are not large enough to clear their own paths. There are 8 planets in our solar system. So it used to be classified as a planet. Pluto, not classified as a dwarf planet. All planets and dwarf planets orbit the Sun. Move the descriptions into the correct boxes below. Planets
Clear their orbital path.
are much smaller than planets. Not able to clear their orbital path.
Orbit the Sun.
Select the planets in our solar system that orbit the Sun. Oh, you have to click these. Well, that wasn't difficult. One or more. I clicked that one. Nope. Check for understanding. A solar system is made up of a group of planets and other objects that orbit a central star. Earth, the Moon, and the Sun are all bodies in our solar system. The Sun is the central star of our solar system. There are 8 planets in our solar system: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Moons. Earth has 1 moon. Scientists have discovered more than 140 moons in our solar system. Moons are natural satellites that orbit planets. A satellite is anything that orbits another object. Most moons in the solar system are spherical, but some are lumpy. Earth has 1 moon, which is simply called the moon. Most planets in our solar system have their own moons. Only Mercury and Venus do not have any moons. Larger planets like Jupiter have many more moons orbiting them. This is because larger planets have stronger gravitational pulls that attract more objects. This illustration shows 4 of Jupiter's moons. Jupiter has 50 known moons. Its largest moon, Ganymede, is the largest moon in the solar system. Complete each sentence with the correct word or phrase. Moons are naturals. Larger planets in our solar systems have number of moons compared to smaller planets. Why do some planets have a greater number of moons than other planets? Smaller planets generally have a greater number of moons because they have stronger gravitational pulls. No. Larger planets generally have a greater number of moons because they have faster orbits. All planets have the same number of moons. Larger planets generally have a greater number of moons because they have stronger gravitational pulls and can attract more objects. Carla is preparing for her science fair project. However, she is confused about one fact that she learned in class. She asked her teacher, Mr. Tang, about her question. Carla asks, moons orbit planets, not the sun, but if all objects in our solar system orbit a central star, does that mean that moons are not part of our solar system? Which of the following is most likely? The response Mr. Tang provided for Carla. You're correct, Carla. All objects in the solar system must directly orbit the sun. Moons are not part of our solar system. Even though moons orbit planets, they are still a part of our solar system. Planets orbit the sun, and moons orbit planets. In this way, moons indirectly orbit the sun. Check for understanding. Moons are natural satellites that orbit planets. Most planets in our solar system have at least 1 moon. How many moons a planet has depends on its size. Larger planets attract a greater number of moons. Moons indirectly orbit the sun and are part of our solar system. Small objects in our solar system. In addition to large bodies like planets and moons, there are also many smaller objects in our solar system. Asteroids are rocks that orbit the sun. Most asteroids are found in what is known as the Asteroid Belt, located between Mars and Jupiter. There's also a Kuiper Belt. Like asteroids, comets also orbit the sun. Think of comets as space snowballs. Comets are frozen objects made of dust, rocks, and ice that orbit the sun. The center of a comet is called its nucleus, and it's composed of frozen water and gases. A large cloud of dust and gases surrounds a comet's nucleus. This cloud is called a coma. A coma can stretch on the great distances. Comets reflect the sunlight, which is why people can see comets streaking across the sky. Comets also have 2 tails. One tail is composed of gases and is called the ion tail, and the other is composed of dust particles and is called the dust tail. Comets have a nucleus and a coma. They can stretch over long distances. Some comas can grow to be as wide as Jupiter. Meteoroids. Meteoroids are small asteroids. A meteor is formed when a meteor hits Earth's atmosphere, causing it to heat up and flame. Meteorites are pieces of a meteor that land on Earth's surface. As soon as it hits Earth's atmosphere, it becomes a meteor. And a meteorite are the tiny pieces that land on Earth's surface. Asteroids, comets, and meteoroids are considered small in relation to moons and planets, but they can be many kilometers wide. Even small meteoroids can cause craters when they strike the planet, such as this one in Arizona. Match each description to the correct term. Small rocks in space that orbit the sun.
Small rocks in space that orbit the sun. Small rocks in space that orbit the sun.
Form meteors upon hitting Earth's atmosphere. What do asteroids, comets, and meteoroids all have in common? They all orbit the sun, they all orbit Earth, they all have tails that can stretch on great distances, they all are relative small bodies in the solar system. Complete each sentence by clicking on the correct vocabulary term. A small rock that falls to Earth is called a small asteroid in space is known as a rock that heats and flames when it hits Earth's atmosphere. Where are most asteroids located in our solar system? Oops, guess I have to click on something, huh? They're located right here. Most asteroids in the solar system can be found in what is known as the Asteroid Belt. The Asteroid Belt is located between Mars and Jupiter. A blank is the cloud of gas and dust that surrounds a comet's nucleus. A comet surrounds a comet's nucleus. All comets have a nucleus, which is a solid mass of frozen particles. As a comet travels through the solar system, it warms up when it's near the sun. This causes the icy chunks in the nucleus to melt and change into dust and gas tails. These bright tails trail behind the coma and the nucleus. Ion tail, dust tail, and the coma. Oops. Why are people able to see comets from Earth? People can see comets from Earth because they are able to use powerful telescopes. People can see comets from Earth because comets reflect light from the sun. People can see comets from Earth because comets fly within a few miles of Earth's atmosphere. People can only see comets from Earth during the daytime. Comets can be seen from Earth because comets reflect the sun's light as the comet shoots across the sky. This causes the comet to light up the sky. A meteoroid is approaching Earth's atmosphere. Is it now considered a meteor? Yes, because a meteoroid becomes a meteor as soon as it gets close to Earth's atmosphere. No, because meteoroids must actually touch Earth's atmosphere in order to become a meteor. No, because a meteoroid becomes an asteroid as soon as it gets close to Earth's atmosphere. Meteoroids do not become meteors. No, because a meteor must actually touch Earth's atmosphere in order to become a meteor. A meteor does not become a meteor until it comes into contact with Earth's atmosphere. When this happens, the meteor begins to heat up and flame. It appears as a flaming streak in the sky. Check for understanding. Asteroids, comets, and meteors are all small objects in our solar system. Asteroids are rocks that orbit the sun. Most asteroids are located in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Comets are frozen objects made of dust and ice. Comets have a nucleus, a coma, and two tails. They also orbit the Sun. Meteoroids are small asteroids. Meteors are formed when meteoroids come into contact with Earth's atmosphere. Meteorites are pieces of a meteor that fall to the Earth's surface. What is a solar system? A group of planets and other objects that orbit a central star. What is an asteroid? A piece of a meteor that falls to Earth, a large frozen mass that orbits Earth, a rock that orbits the Sun. It's a rock. An asteroid is a rock that orbits the Sun. A comet is a frozen object made of ice and dust that orbits the Sun. A comet is a frozen object made of ice and dust that orbits the Sun. What is the definition of a meteoroid? Small asteroid. A meteoroid is a small asteroid. A meteor is a belt in between Earth and Moon, a rocky mass at the center of our solar system. The object formed when a meteoroid hits the Earth's atmosphere, a small piece of an asteroid that falls on the Earth's surface. A meteor is the object formed when a meteoroid hits the Earth's atmosphere. What is a meteorite? A piece of an asteroid that builds a bright comet that passes through the Earth's atmosphere, a piece of a meteor that lands on Earth. Summary. A solar system is a central star, and the objects that orbit it, Earth, the Moon, and the Sun, are all bodies in a solar system. The Sun is the central star of our solar system. The small bodies in our solar system include asteroids, comets, and meteoroids. When meteoroids hit Earth's atmosphere, they form meteors. Meteorites are small pieces of meteorites that hit the Earth. Which of the following bodies directly orbit the Sun? Well, these don't directly, they indirectly. All planets and dwarf planets in our solar system orbit the Sun. Small bodies such as comets and asteroids also orbit the Sun. Moons, including Earth's orbit planets. A comet has three main parts. The frozen mass at its core is called the nucleus. Surrounding this frozen mass is a giant dust cloud called the coma. Meteoroids are small asteroids. When meteoroids come in contact with the Earth's atmosphere, it flames and becomes a meteor. Small pieces of a meteor that fall to the Earth's surface are referred to as meteorites. A comet's core is the nucleus. The coma surrounds the nucleus. Meteors form when a meteoroid hits the Earth's atmosphere and begins to heat up. The solid rock remains of a meteor's impact are called meteorites. And what do all solar systems have in common? They all have a central star around which all other objects orbit. And that's it. Okay, now it's up to you to answer the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 star questions. Good luck.